So this may get this portion of the stream copyright struck. I don't know. I don't care. We're going to talk about it. Let's do this. Okay. So for those of you who missed it, I don't know how you would have, but for those of you who missed it, a bit of Suicide Squad leaked. A little bit of a bummer, a little bit weird. Basically what happened is there's somebody who got a screen cap of the main menu of the game, posted it to Twitter, and it kind of caused the internet to explode a little bit, because on this was something that was honestly already confirmed. So it wasn't news to me or most other people that have been paying attention, but apparently it surprised a lot of people. What it is this screenshot right here. I'll turn off my Lego cam. Hold on. Yeah, Nadia's got a foot cam. I have a Lego cam. But if I turn that off, you see up here, this is what got people upset. Battle Pass and a store, and then in-game currencies laid out here. And people are like, oh my God, it's a live service, games as a service game. Oh, that sucks so bad. We've known this for a while. We've known this for a while. This is not scandalous. This is not risque. This is something we've been talking about for a long time. And it's why I haven't been super stoked on this game. I'm going to adjust the camera real quick. But it's why we haven't been super stoked on this game, because I've said for a while, something about this game just doesn't sit right with me. Something about it is just off. And the gameplay looks off. The way they've talked about it looks like there's just something weird about it. And now we're kind of seeing, I think, the revelation that explains how weird it is, or why it comes off as weird. And that is that it appears to be structured, at least in terms of gameplay, in a similar way to Marvel's Avengers, where story beats are tied up into specific missions that you will have to load into individually from the main menu. And you'll do that with your team. You see these are all bots that you would play with, controlled by AI. But then you could, in theory, play with your friends, and they would play each of these characters, and you go through the story together. It's not the worst idea. There have been great games that do this. Just because it has these systems doesn't mean the game will suck, okay? What people are frustrated with is that this is a studio that has made some of the most impressive single-player open-world games, not to mention best superhero games, but just the best single-player open-world games in the last 15 years. They made Batman Arkham Asylum, which was more linear, sort of semi-open world, but it was great. Batman Arkham City won Game of the Year awards across the board. Amazingly well received. Batman Arkham Knight is tremendous, but it had a couple of faults here and there with the horrible PC launch, and then also a really problematic system for the Batmobile, but that's a separate thing. And all of these other little pieces that tie into it. So, but all that being said, this is a studio that's been known to make amazing single-player games. And now it seems that they are being forced by Warner Brothers to come out and make a multiplayer game that's heavily monetized. And let's be real, the reason that Warner Brothers wanted it multiplayer is for the ability to charge for a battle pass and all of this stuff. What this would suggest to me, you also see this story. And then you see private squad. Okay, so you're playing with a private team. So you could go public if you wanted, and publicly matchmake. And then best pay attention. I'm guessing that's the difficulty setting. And then, play. It tells you what level you're on and blah, blah, blah. There's also a prompt for game mode. I would guess that there's game modes for like fighting waves, and then boss rush mode. And there's stuff like that for quick grinding, XP, grinding materials you can use to craft different items and cosmetics. So I would guess that there's a lot of stuff like that. Maybe it's going to be so good that nobody cares about this. I hope that that's the case. But this just sucks because, again, this is the studio that's known for making really good single-player stuff. And now it seems as though they're being pushed into this, which is just kind of sucky. Beyond this, there were some alleged story leaks that came out, and I want to address those because... wait for the chat to catch up. Look how active you guys are. Wow. As it glitches out. So the story leaks, I won't reveal any specifics. The specific story leaks have been debunked. So they're not true as far as we can tell. But one of them that has not been debunked, and they've been very, very quiet on, is specifically about the lore. What they've said is that any of the games after Batman Arkham Asylum allegedly will not be considered canon, and that this will allow them to bring Batman back after Batman Arkham Knight. You would think Batman wouldn't be back, but they're going to bring him back, apparently, as we saw at the Game Awards little reveal they did in honor of Kevin Conroy, who we know is voicing Batman in this game. It also, in theory, would allow them to have the Joker in this game, though it's unclear if the Joker will actually be in this game. People said, Mark Hamill said he's not coming back for this. He's not in the game. But he might not be, and he probably isn't in the game. But remember, they also lied and said he wasn't in Batman Arkham Knight for the reveal to be cooler. So it doesn't mean that he's not in the game. Unfortunately, people can lie about this for the sake of hype. As for other tidbits, I mean, everything in Batman Arkham City, none of that would be considered canon. They could include some bits of it here and there, but they would basically rewrite whatever lore they wanted for the sake of this game, which is interesting. Some people don't really care, but some people really do. And you would have thought that they announced that this was actually a My Littlest Pony game with a Suicide Squad coat of paint. People lost their minds. So that's an important thing to just remember. As for all of this other stuff, it's really unclear what this game is going to bring to the table. I just have had a weird feeling in my gut for a long time about it. And now I feel like people are starting to see maybe what I've been trying to refer to. We've known it's a live service game for a long time, but they've been just weird about it. And that gets me concerned. The gameplay they showed also didn't look super great. The narrative stuff they've shown off isn't super compelling. I thought the Batman trailer was the most compelling out of anything we've seen, but I loved the previous Rocksteady games for being really dark and gritty. And this feels like an attempt to just turn it into Suicide Squad, the movie, and have it be super, super goofy and very James Gunn-esque. And I don't know if I want another James Gunn style game, come on. So we'll see. I don't know what they're going to bring to the table, but I'm hopeful. But something about this is not sitting right with me. And in the past, my gut has typically been correct. So I'm going to rely on that.
He took my thing.